This is the Sunny Side Up podcast.
Hey, I'm Alan.
Hi. I'm Amanda.
Wait a minute. Something's wrong. Something's not correct here.
What
Where's
is
Brandon?
it?
Where's Brandon and Angel?
I thought they were here.
Huh?
I thought they were here.
No, they're not here.
So they're ghosts?
No. Here's what's really going on. This is my sister Amanda.
Hello.
Say hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
She's dead on. We are twins, kind of, but not really. Actually, on a very serious note, before we get started with the Sunny Side Up podcast, episode 18, believe it or not.
Woo! 18.
episodes. Yep.
Won't see that number again.
Brandon and Angel are gone this week because several episodes, it might have been like episode 5 or so, we talked about Angel's sister Destiny, who has von Hippel-Lindau syndrome. I think I got that right. VHL for short, which creates tumors on certain organs, and she's dealing with some more of that stuff. So Brandon and Angel were really pretty upset and not in a condition to do this show. And I said, you know what? I'll do it alone. And then Karen, my wife, said, no, don't try to do it alone. Go call Amanda. So it's her fault.
It's my fault.
So
My
Amanda,
fault.
welcome to Sunny Side Up episode 18.
Thank you.
You'll be our
It's good to be here.
fill-in guest co-host from time to time. Maybe field reporter,
Field reporter.
especially
I like
as
that.
it gets really, really cold.
So I go out in the cold while you stay in the warm. It's the way it's always
Yeah,
been. You're gonna
absolutely.
push me out of the treehouse.
See, we're going to have to dispel all the rumors and all the lies from the past right now because I'm really at a disadvantage now. Because I've been able to, well, with Brandon and Angel, I can just tell them lies. And they're like, okay, sure, you've been here my whole life.
Yep.
So that being said, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, you got a brand new job.
I got a brand new job. I spent 30 years in career tech.
Yep.
And then Monday, I began a new career in middle school at the Longfellow Middle School. Go Mustangs!
Monday
in
as
Enid.
in this week.
Monday as
just
in
days
this
ago.
week.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Very cool.
Yes.
So are you enjoying the job?
I love it. I'm with the English language learner 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And we have a great group of young people.
You
They're
have
awesome.
you have middle school kids, some of whom don't speak English,
That is correct.
from other countries, learning how to fit into the United States, right?
Yes, that is correct. And learning to read.
Yeah. Okay.
And trying to help them get their
So are you
reading
liking
comprehension
it? Are
up.
you digging it?
Yes, I
What-
dig it.
Yeah. What?
They're awesome.
Because this is going to lead into a story about Veterans Day. Because today we're going to talk about who the heck you are.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Veterans Day, which was this week, and we're going to talk about a touch of sugar.
Sweet. Sorry, that was a delayed ching. That was a delayed reaction. Sorry.
So I mean, I realize you've only been doing this a couple 3 days, but what's the perception of these kids coming into the United States about America? Are they looking at it as an opportunity? Is it something that they're like, oh crap, my parents drugged me to the country and here I am, because they're in junior high?
I know that a lot of them are excited to be here. We talked about the difference between living on the Marshallese Islands and living in the flatlands of Oklahoma, and they
Right.
said they missed the ocean, and I said, well, let's just make one. They didn't think that was possible.
Gotcha.
But we can do
Still
anything.
working, still
Yeah.
digging a hole, aren't you?
We're still digging the hole, going to China.
And the interesting thing is, we talk about Veterans Day, the whole Marshallese Island incident was caused by World War II.
That is correct.
And there's a very large population of Marshallese families here in northwest Oklahoma, good old Enid, Oklahoma, where we filmed the Sunny Side Up podcast. I think third largest population of Marshallese people in the world.
Possibly.
Right
Yes.
here, I think. So awesome you're doing that.
Yes, thank you.
It's
I love
more it's not just a teaching thing, it's a need
No.
in our community. So
It is true.
all right.
And they are wonderful. So shout out to the Mustangs.
Yeah, it's cool.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
It's cool. So as we delve into the Veterans Day thing, any Veterans Day stories that you
Well,
have?
it's
Shout outs?
interesting that you would say that to me because
Right.
at Longfellow Middle School, my first day, my first hour
Yeah.
was an assembly that the students put on for Veterans Day.
Okay.
And the choir sang. It was really, really nice. They had a traditional PowerPoint presentation that a lot of the students just seemed to be in awe of, especially when they showed the military uniforms and the fighter planes. So
Very cool.
very respectful group of people.
Now, can we talk about your son-in-law? Is he stationed in a place that we can't talk about?
Possibly. My son-in-law is in the Air Force, and he's almost at the point to where he's completed his
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
And he is trained in a lot of areas. He's a staff sergeant. And it's a non-commissioned officer.
Right.
And he basically is a non-commissioned officer of data research.
Oh, so he's an
IT guy.
He's an electronic spy. Yeah.
Yes.
So do they watch over there in Germany or wherever they happen to be right now?
I don't know.
They should.
But they should.
We don't speak German.
He doesn't speak English
and
well
I can't
either.
speak English worth of crap. So we should get along. Although I was on the Autobahn once.
Ooh.
When I was in Poland.
Highway that's over there by Walmart?
No, not that Autobahn. Although the traffic on the Autobahn in Poland, I don't even know if it's called the Autobahn in Poland, but the highway that becomes the Autobahn, the high speed, there's no speed limit, much like most highways past most Walmarts in this country. So yeah.
Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Scott Phillips.
All right. Staff Sergeant NCO Scott Phillips, thank you for your service to your country.
Yes.
We have an Uncle Tommy who served in the National Guard. Shout out to Tommy. Who else? Uncle. These two guys have long since passed on, but we had an Uncle Lewis who was a pilot of B-25s in World War II. Uncle Willard was a navigator on the B-29 in World War II. He flew over the Burmese hump, or not the Burmese hump, but the Himalayan hump from China into enemy territories, bringing supplies back and forth. I was reading a bio on him before we started the show, and he was in Taipan. He flew over Iwo Jima. He's got stories of looking down and seeing the U.S. Marine Forces in harm's way while he was flying supplies in the B-29. So anyway.
Neat. What? Have you heard the story about the Memphis Belle?
Yes.
You know, the famous one?
Yes, it's
we were watching the History Channel, and they were saying the reason why they put the 25 flight rule in is because to give incentive, because most people who fly in those bomber pilot situations did not live, and there very few men ever made it to 25.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
And I don't know how many Uncle Willard did. I don't think he did 25, but it was like maybe 19.
That's
a
lot.
lot. So, and as the navigator, he always told. In fact, when I was a kid, I remember him. I used to work for him when I was a kid, and he would take me out in the nighttime sky when we're out working at the farm, going, "That's this constellation," and I needed to know that. And I'm looking at him, going, "Dude, what? How do you know all this?" He was the navigator. He was the guy that told him. And with that B-29, you only had so much fuel to get from China back to the island you were going to land on, resupply up, and fly back over the Himalayan mountains to drop the supplies back into China, who were our allies during World War II. So, yeah, some exciting stories.
That's cool.
I got some modern day stories. These are awesome. This just happened like this week. 95-year-old World War II veteran. God, I don't know why I can't speak English.
It's
His
World
name,
War. You have to go
WW2.
World War.
Louis Shaw's 95 years old this week.
Oh, cool. Louis.
And he quit high school in Claremore High School, Claremore, Oklahoma. It's just over by Tulsa. Quit that in 1943 to join the Marine Corps to go to war in World War II. Ended up with the 4th Marine Division, which were the guys that were down on the ground that our uncle would have seen down there. He was in Saipan, and Iwo Jima in the 4th Marine Division. And the whole flag in Washington, D.C. with Iwo Jima, that's the 4th Marine Division. So Louis saw some action big time. Anyway, here it is, 2019, in his high school alma mater, the junior ROTC folks. Administrations gathered last week to present him with a cap and gown and an honorary diploma to his high school.
Very nice.
Isn't that neat?
That's cool.
So he's pledged to a fraternity. He starts college.
Nice.
No, I'm just...
no?
I'm lying.
Okay.
About that part.
That's okay.
This is a neater one, too. 1944, Tech Sergeant Bruce Journey was flying in a C-47 over the Netherlands, which is in far northwestern Europe. It's northwest of Germany. the small little country in the Netherlands. He was flying a transport aircraft when it was shot down by German forces, and he was killed in action. They identified him clear back in 1944. His brother Dwight Journey learned of his older brother's death years ago. And if you haven't been to Europe, and you will go someday.
Yes, this summer.
In Europe, American soldiers are revered because the United States throughout history has been allies to most of the European countries in one form or another. In fact, all of them at one form or another at one time. And even in our worst of times politically here in the United States, we are heroes to the rest of the world.
Nice.
And so there's a grave in the Netherlands with Tech Sergeant Bruce Journey's name on it that a Dutch family has adopted and looks after his gravestone and has all these years. They just passed it on to the next kid going, look, we're going to take care of this soldier's tombstone. They were all gathering up, working on doing a monument there in the Netherlands to this C-47 crew, put up a statue and that kind of thing on this date. These people were killed in action when they dug up his long-lost dog tags. So Bruce's dog tags will be going home to his brother soon, 5,000 miles away.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a neat story.
All right, so what are you doing this weekend? You watch a little TV?
Probably.
I want you to watch A&E because this weekend, A Touch of Sugar's on.
Sweet! Sorry.
So go ahead, ask me what's A Touch of Sugar all about.
What is A Touch of Sugar all about?
It's not a love story. It's not a story about a dog named Sugar. It's nothing like that. It's actually a story about diabetes.
Ah.
And it's narrated by Viola Davis.
Ah, cool.
You know who Viola Davis is, right?
Yes.
What was the TV show on ABC she was on?
We're related.
It's not Murder. What is it called? I can't. You know what I'm talking about, though. Viola Davis,
Yes,
right?
yes.
All right. She is the narrator of the show, and one of the folks that's in the show is Letitia Schwartz, and I had the chance this week to sit down and talk to Letitia about what the show's all about.
Cool.
Hi, Letitia. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I was just saying, Alan, that I listen to a lot of podcasts, and this is, I'm so excited to participate in your podcast.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We our entire goal all the time is to just make people feel good and to smile, and if we could reach out and give them a physical hug, we would, but we can't. So I like talking to people like you about things that we can hopefully get a hold of and fix. So thank you for that. Thanks for the kind words.
Absolutely. There's so much learning in podcasting.
Yeah. And I got to tell you myself, I'm right there on the pre-diabetic scale. My doctor told me last week that I'm at the very low end of pre-diabetic and that I need to start really paying attention to what I eat while I'm doing all the broadcasting that I do. So I'm right there with everybody else.
This touches you. Yes.
Absolutely. Tell me, speaking of A Touch, tell me about the A Touch of Sugar film and why you've decided to be a part of it.
So this is a personal topic to me. My grandfather died from complications of type 2 diabetes, and my grandmother really didn't have the right resources or education to help him cope with the disease. And as a chef and Latina, I understand that there are some common challenges that Hispanics face across the nation that are the same, like, for example, eating healthy, making time to exercise, and most importantly, working with your doctor on a treatment plan that's right for you. And the alarming fact, Alan, is that almost 12% of the Hispanic population in this country is already diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. That's why I am joining forces with Merck on this documentary called A Touch of Sugar, which really raises awareness about type 2 diabetes.
So what do we get out of the film? And I saw the trailer, and it's really intriguing, and I plan on checking out the show myself. What's the message you hope people will get from the film?
Well, I really hope that after watching the film, people will realize that they're not alone in this journey, and that we all need to come together to make fundamental changes to the way that we treat, support, and advocate for people living with type 2 diabetes. And the goal of the movie is not only to raise awareness about type 2 diabetes, but ultimately to confront this disease and this epidemic head on, one patient and one community at a time, and also to spark action and change in lifestyle. Just like, we all need to be so aware of exercising and eating a healthy diet.
And that is key. That is the thing about it. It is a controllable situation to a point, at least, by just making some simple changes. But there are going to be those times when a visit to the doctor is necessary and additional medications and things like that. So with that being said, I know on the trailer, one gentleman was saying, look, I didn't choose diabetes. I didn't do anything. Speak real quickly to those that are looking at their lives going, what did I do wrong and what should I do right?
Well, that's a very important topic that you just said, that because when you live with type 2 diabetes, there are so many social factors that influence. There's a lot of stigma around type 2 diabetes, and the movie really sheds a light on those social factors. Sometimes even language barriers and access to care and access to cooking classes, nutritional information, and cultural influences as well.
Absolutely. We're going to run out of time. I knew we would. Tell me more about your involvement in the American Diabetes Challenge.
Well, I am really excited. Let me just tell you about when we're airing, because A Touch of Sugar is going to air on A&E on November 17th, on FYI on November 18th, November 23rd, and November 25th. But be sure to check your local listings. And also, Alan, if people want to watch the documentary, they can get in touch with us at atouchofsugarfilm.com and ask us for the link. So again, atouchofsugarfilm.com.
Excellent. And that'll tell us all about the challenge and all the information that we need. Leticia, just a couple minutes or a minute or so left. Tell me about your favorite cookbook that you produced so I can go find it.
Oh my God, I am so excited. I have a new cookbook called Latin Superfoods. It's out now this fall, and you can find it on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles, wherever books are sold. And you can have more information about my work at chefleticia.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the kind words, and appreciate you being a fan of the podcast, too.
And thank you so much for having me.
Touch of Sugar again this weekend debuts on A&E and about 500,000 other channels that she rattled off. So
awesome.
Hey, Amanda, I appreciate you being with me on Sunny Side Up. Again, a shout out to Destiny, who's having a rough time. Our thoughts, our prayers. Now, technically, it's a worldwide prayer request for Destiny's to get better. Awesome. Brandon and Angel, we missed you. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on some Instagram stuff. Got the YouTube channel where you're seeing this. If you're listening to the podcast, go to the YouTube channel, Sunny Side Up. Look for Sunny Side Up Podcast with Alan Klepper. You'll find us. It's got the little Sunny Side Up sun/Daisy logo. So,
and it says Alan Klepper.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just trying to let you get to be able to find it. Of course, we're on every podcast platform known to mankind.
Speaking of sweet.
Big, little, and
awesome.
otherwise. We're on iHeart.
Nice.
We're on Apple iTunes. We are on the Spreaker accounts, Podbean, you name it, we're there. Android and Apple products as well. So, Amanda,
cool.
Thank you for
Thank
filling
you.
in for Sunny Side Up. She literally came from teaching school to come do the Sunny Side Up podcast. Hasn't even had a break yet. And she's off to a meeting somewhere.
No breaks. Buku overtime.
Right. So will you come back and do this again?
Yes, I loved it.
Did
Thank
you have fun?
I had a blast.
Did you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Sweet.
Would you tell me if you didn't have fun?
I would tell you if I didn't have fun.
She never stops.
But he
ever,
pushed me out of
ever.
the treehouse, so it's all his fault.
When she hit her head, everything changed.
Traumatic brain injury.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to Sunny Side Up. Be sure and like everything, every post, share, and like everything that has Sunny Side Up podcast on it.
Sweet.
It makes a difference. It really does.
Yes.
A shout out. I almost forgot.
Almost forgot.
A shout out to Gracie Schreiber. She's from The Voice. She was on Team Kelly when we interviewed her. There's still the interview on the Facebook, on the YouTube channel and all the other accounts where we interviewed Gracie. That thing on Facebook has gotten over 3,000 reaches so far.
Awesome.
She got over to Team Blake. Team Blake captured her, and then away she went with the lives. So good stuff. Amanda,
Awesome.
I'll
Yes,
see
sir.
you later. Have a blessed week. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.